your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. LNG deals signed, Focol and Shell selected. The Attorney General says the new LNG agreement will save Bahamians $50 million a year. But the F&M raising concerns over these deals. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, March 21st, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Also this morning, we will get a preview of the upcoming Red Cross Fair. And later in business, it's our monthly HR series. We are talking about employee retention, holding on to your good talent in your workplace. Why are you having difficulties doing so? We'll get to the bottom of that with Ahmad Rashad Thompson this morning. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight. The latest breaking news from while you're sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the government signing two agreements at the Office of the Prime Minister that will move the country towards the use of LNG, liquefied natural gas, to produce power on New Providence. One of the agreements governs the development of a liquefied natural gas terminal and regasification facility and its accompanying pipelines, while the other is an agreement with Shell to provide New Providence power producers with LNG. The agreement for the development of the terminal and other facilities, a partnership between Focol Limited and Shell, while the LNG supply is an agreement with Shell alone. Prime Minister Philip Davis saying that these agreements will lead to clean, stable, and affordable electricity for Bahamians. He said the high cost, the decades of constant failures of BPL's main generators, the inefficiency of Wärtsilä engines and other failed would-be solutions. He said with the signing of the agreement, quote, we are embracing cleaner energy with the development of the first LNG terminal at Clifton Pier. Phase 1 is set to begin before the end of the year. Attorney General Ryan Pinder, who fielded questions following the formal signing ceremony, said the first delivery of LNG will be in November, while the start of development of the terminal will happen before the end of the year. He says this deal will save Bahamians $50 million per year, adding that fuel is a pass-through to consumers on energy generation. And, quote, just by phase 1, we are looking at a $50 million savings in fuel to the consumer. By the time we get to phase 4, which will be a robust floating storage unit that is still in design, we are looking at a $180 million a year over an annual savings to the consumer just on fuel pass-through pricing. Meanwhile, F&M leader Michael Pintard raising concerns over the deal, saying it is far removed from the arrangement that was under consideration by the previous F&M administration, which contemplated a deal solely between Shell and the government, a deal in which a jetty and regasification terminal would have been owned and operated by the public, by a public entity for the benefit of the Bahamian people. The United States has no issue with countries that take part in Cuba's medical mission if those healthcare workers are paid a fair wage and their rights are respected. That's according to a U.S. State Department official speaking to the Nassau Guardian. Officials saying the United States has imposed visa restrictions on Cuban and third country government officials and individuals responsible for or involved in forced labor elements of the Cuban regime's, in their words, exploitative labor export program. Cuba's labor export program involves forced labor and exploitation of workers, according to the official. You can read more on their comments in today's Nassau Guardian. And Supreme Court Justice Andrew McKinney imposing an injunction prohibiting Minister of Labor and the Public Service Pia Glover-Roll from conducting a poll to determine whether the Bahamas Public Sector and Health Professional Union should become the bargaining agent for workers at the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, BAIC. Workers there are presently represented by the Bahamas General Workers Union. However, TUC President Obi Ferguson, who represents the BGWU, the General Workers Union, claims Glover-Roll entertained an application from the Public Sector and Health Professionals Union to become the bargaining agent for BAIC workers without going through the proper procedure as laid out by Section 43 of the Industrial Relations Act. The General Workers Union applied to the court for leave to apply for judicial review, which was granted by McKinney. Overseas, Britain's Heathrow Airport closed all day today after fire at a nearby electrical substation knocked out its power, disrupting flights for hundreds of thousands of passengers at Europe's busiest travel hub. At least 1,350 flights to and from Heathrow were affected. Flight trafficking service Flight Radar 24 confirming this, and the impact likely to last several days as passengers try to reschedule their travel. Some 120 flights were in the air when the closure was announced, with some turned around and others diverted to Gatwick Airport outside London, or Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, or even Ireland's Shannon Airport. The fire at a power station about 2 miles from the airport was brought under control about 7 hours after it erupted in a ball of flames. The Energy Secretary of the UK saying they don't know what caused the fire, but the fire also knocked out a backup power supply to the airport. Heathrow saying in a statement that the fire had given it no choice but to close the airport for the day. Heathrow, one of the world's busiest airports for international travel, it had its busiest January on record earlier this year with more than 6.3 million passengers, up more than 5% from the same period last year. January was also the 11th month in a row that it averaged over 200,000 passengers a day, with the airport citing transatlantic travel as a key contributor. In sports, Bahamas National High School Track and Field Championships going on, and on day one at the Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium, already qualifiers, new qualifiers for the Carifta Games, and some re-qualifiers. Also of note, there's no overall winner this year, as it has been recently in past years, but more than 80 schools are already making their claims for the various division titles that are up for grabs. In the under-17 boys 400 meters, Jiro Woodside of St. Augustine College adding his name to the list of qualifiers with 49.26 seconds to go under the Carifta qualifying standard of 49.27. And there's a whole lot more. You can read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, Golden State Warriors star Stephen Curry his playing status uncertain after the two-time NBA MVP sustained a pelvic injury during Thursday night's 117-114 win over the Toronto Raptors. Curry, who was returning to the court after sitting out Tuesday to rest, got hurt while driving for a layup late in the third quarter. He landed hard on his tailbone as he crashed to the floor and remained down for several moments before being helped to his locker room. Warriors coach Steve Kerr says Curry tried to talk his way back into the game, but the decision was made to keep him out. And from the NBA, again, big news in terms of money. Private equity mogul William Chisholm agreeing to buy the Boston Celtics in a deal that values the NBA's reigning champions and the most decorated franchise in league history at a minimum of $6.1 billion, the largest price ever for American professional sports teams. If the deal is approved by the NBA's Board of Governors this summer, the sale would top the $6.05 billion paid for the NFL's Washington Commanders in 2023. And from soccer, Cecilio Waterman scoring a stunning goal in the fourth minute of second half injury time, and Panama beat the three-time defending champion United States 1-0 Thursday night to reach the CONCACAF Nations League final. Waterman took a pass down the right side of Adalberto Carrasquilla in front of a packed U.S. defense and fired a perfect right-footed diagonal shot past Matt Turner in the far left corner. Waterman's 11th international goal on Panama's only shot on target in the night advanced the Panamanians to a final Sunday against Mexico. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a rather dry cold front trekking across the northern and northwest Bahamas today. Going to make it through the central Bahamas. Expected to be near the southeastern islands by tonight. High pressure along with stable air mass will quickly move across the area behind the front. The high pressure is going to dominate weather across the islands over the weekend and the beginning of the upcoming week. Sea swells will slowly subside across the northwest and central islands throughout the weekend, but small craft operators and beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas are advised to remain alert as there will be choppy seas and rough surf through to next week. By Tuesday, more robust frontal boundaries expected across the northern islands before drifting south. So boaters and swimmers again urged to avoid Atlantic waters and channels due to large swells. And the fire risk is still elevated due to the ongoing brush fires, especially in Grand Bahama, east of Freeport, and in North Andros. Residents and motorists are advised to exercise caution, especially in the early morning hours, as there's expected to be limited visibility. And individuals with respiratory issues should take special precautions as well. For today, your forecast for the northern and northwest Bahamas, variably cloudy and mild, becoming fair and cool tonight, partly cloudy for some of the northwestern islands. About a 10% chance of showers, winds west to northwest at 10 to 15 knots, varying northeast at 10 to 15 knots by this evening. For the northwestern islands, for the extreme northern islands, northwest at 15 to 20 knots, higher gusts this morning, decreasing 10 to 15 by the afternoon, becoming northeast at 10 knots or less tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy through tonight for the central islands, a 10 to 20% chance of showers along the frontal boundary by this evening. Winds westerly at 10 knots or less, becoming northeast to east at 10 knots or less tonight. And partly to mostly sunny today, becoming cloudy tonight for the southeastern islands. A 10% chance of showers, increasing to 20% chance by tonight as the front approaches. Winds west to northwest at 10 knots or less. For temperature 70s, highs near 79 degrees, especially for the central Bahamas, that's 26 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight, behind the front in the upper 50s, near 60 Fahrenheit, 1920 Celsius. And in the mid-60s for the central and southeast Bahamas. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General, insurance made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start start of a new way. Don't you know that?
We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner. With increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools, take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Inland Revenue is here to guide and help you with all things business license and VAT. On March 25th and 26th at the National Baseball Stadium, the DIR will host a financial symposium with multiple government and private agencies. Then in the month of April, learn all about VAT through our in-person and virtual sessions during what we call VAT Education Month. For more information, follow Capital DIR Bahamas on all social media platforms.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Coming up this morning, we got a preview of next weekend's Red Cross Fair. All the details that you need to know about it. And later in business, it's our monthly human resource series. We're talking about employee retention, holding on to your talent, and why it's so difficult for so many companies to do so. We're going to break that down into age groups as well, with a special focus on Millennials and Gen Z. We're going to look at everything with Ahmad Rashad Thompson today. That's coming up. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. In the news, LNG deals signed. Focol and Shell, I believe that Shell North America selected as part of this deal. I'm going to break it down as much as we can this morning. Let's begin by listening to this report from our Vonique Toot.
The Davis administration has signed a terminal development and use agreement with Focol Holdings Limited for the first liquefied natural gas terminal at Clifton Pier, as well as an LNG supply agreement with Shell. The agreements were signed on Thursday at the office of the Prime Minister. The first phase of the terminal will begin between Focol and Shell. Energy Minister Kobe Davis says the two agreements will enable the fast adoption of LNG in the Bahamas.
The first phase will consist of a Shell-chartered small-scale LNG vessel supplying LNG onshore. Once onshore, the LNG will be converted to natural gas at the terminal during the second half of this year. This gas will first be utilized in the gas turbines currently operating at Clifton Pier. Future phases will expand natural gas delivery to additional gas-fired power assets in New Providence. We appreciate and understand that this is a significant step for our country. Therefore, my ministry will embark on public education campaigns.
Attorney General Ryan Pinder says the terminal will cost just under $200 million in the first two phases.
Just by phase one, we're looking at a $50 million annual savings in fuel prices to the consumer. By the time we get to phase four, which will be a robust, hopefully a floating storage unit, but that's still in design. We're looking upwards of $180 million a year in annual savings to the consumer just on fuel pass-through pricing. So that's rather significant. And just imagine the economic opportunities of an extra $180 million a year in the economy of Nassau.
Chairman of Focol Holdings Limited, Sir Franklin Wilson, says the choice of Focol and Shell is as good as it gets.
Cheaper energy. More reliable supply of that cheaper energy, use of the technology to make us better stewards of this wonderful country that heaven provided us. Significant because there are dramatically important byproducts to that clarity of purpose. I'll name a few. This initiative will positively and meaningfully foster greater and sustainable economic growth in a way that dramatically increases opportunity for all.
Prime Minister Philip Davis says the agreements are an essential component in his government's energy reform and economic development plans.
Today, with the signing of this agreement, we are embracing cleaner energy with the development of the first LNG terminal at Clifton Pier. Phase one is set to begin before the end of this year. We see the integration of LNG into our fuel mix as a major step in the right direction as we move away from dirtier fossil fuels such as diesel and oil, significantly lowering our carbon emissions.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Toot.
Okay. You heard that. So there's more in today's papers on this in the NASA Guardian today. There's another story. Pinder, new LNG agreement will save Bahamas $50 million a year. You heard pieces of what he was saying there in that report, and that's in the first. And he says they're looking to have the first gas in the country no later than November 1st of this year, with the terminal in place. And then he says, as we scale up with new generation units and as we develop the terminal into phases 2 and 3, the terminal will grow and the amount of gas that will be able to be offloaded will increase. And so that will be a time process that's a bit fluid, but we certainly hope to have full gas pumping to the Bahamas in Nassau, up to 190 megawatts worth, which will cover the entire baseload of BPL within 18 months. Right, okay, that is the... Yeah. So Pinder says that by the time they get to phase 4, which will be a robust floating storage unit that's still in design, we are looking at $180 million a year over an annual savings to the consumer just on fuel pass-through pricing. This agreement with Shell and Focol will pave the way for the development of the country's first LNG terminal at Clifton Pier. Energy Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis said yesterday that the agreements signed include a sale and purchase agreement for LNG and a terminal development use agreement and will enable the fast adoption of LNG in the Bahamas. Pinder says the significant amount saved annually will create more disposable revenue for small business owners, saying, quote, just imagine the economic opportunities of an extra $180 million a year in this economy in Nassau being invested in being able to create additional opportunities. Small businesses will be able to have extra disposable income to grow. The economic impact builds on the savings, and we will see a certainly dramatic benefit to both the personal consumer and the business consumer in the country. When asked who will construct the terminal, Pinder said the construction of the terminal is a joint venture between Focol and Shell. They will be responsible for the construction and capitalization of the terminal. That includes the regasification facility and the storage facility. When asked who will buy the fuel, he said, with respect to the purchaser of the fuel itself, it'll be a government-owned special-purpose vehicle that will be responsible for purchasing the fuel from Shell and then reselling it to the different power generators. Asked if the contracts went to tender, Pinder said it did, saying that this process started one administration ago, referring to the Minutes administration. Saying, quote, there was an RFP process at that time with respect to the LNG transition of the country, which never got to the end point to where we are today. That work had already been done. We picked that up and restructured the agreement. It was us who were able to finalize and negotiate it and get it across the finish line for the benefit of the Bahamian consumers. You might recall, under the Minutes administration, BPL signed an MOU with Shell North America for an LNG plant, but it was never completed. We'll get to more on that in a bit. The other story here, our Chester Robards writing about this, saying that at this signing yesterday, while representatives from Shell were present, none of them gave remarks or answered questions. When the request for proposals for an LNG provider was closed under the former F&M administration in 2018, Shell North America was the lone winner of a contract that would have left Shell as the majority owner of a company called Power Co. and another called Terminal Co. Power Co., a partnership between Shell and BPL, would have included ownership of BPL stations A&D at its Clifton Power Station. Terminal Co., the LNG terminal that was to be built at Clifton Pier, was to be constructed near BPL's power plant. In 2020, IRCA approved Shell to be the independent power purchaser. Minister of Energy and Transport JoBeth Colby-Davis now says that the signing that the process to begin using LNG will start with a small-scale LNG vessel chartered by Shell. All right, so what's the difference now with this deal and the one from a few years ago, if Shell is back at the table, right? Interesting questions about that. The F&M raising some concerns. Our Travis Cartwright-Carroll writing that F&M leader Michael Pintard raised concerns over the government's deal with Shell and Focol for the development of a liquefied natural gas terminal, saying, quote, this deal is far removed from the arrangement that was under consideration by the previous F&M administration, which contemplated a deal solely between Shell and the government, a deal in which the jetty and regasification terminal would have been owned and operated by a public entity for the benefit of the Bahamian people. Instead, while pretending that this is the same deal that was brokered with the then F&M government, the Davis administration has instead come up with a brand new arrangement. This administration has brought in a third party, Focol, without going through the required transparent bidding process. Where was the legally required transparent bidding process to bring on a private operator? Why is Focol being handed a multi-year, multi-million-dollar lucrative arrangement outside of the provisions of the Public Procurement Act that requires contracts like this to be put out to tender? The government signed 2 agreements yesterday, as you know. One of the we went through all of that. Pintard says that there are key questions that Prime Minister Philip Davis should answer surrounding the new deal. Like, quote, what is the term of the deal? What specific role does Focol play in this deal? He said Davis should also state at what price it negotiated for the LNG and what will be the resulting fuel price per kilowatt hour charged. Will the Bahamian people benefit when LNG market prices decrease? What is the cost of the tolling arrangement negotiated to transport the gas from the terminal facility to the power plants, and who will own the pipelines that will transport the gas? All right, so some interesting questions there, and we went back through our archives to see what was being said at the time of the announcement of the previous deal with the Minutes administration and the F&M. And the Nassau Guardian, January 20th, 2020, under the headline, Davis warns Shell over BPL deal. This is when he was the leader of the opposition. PLP leader Philip Davis yesterday warned Shell North America about entering into a deal with BPL to purchase stations A and D at the Clifton Pier Power Station, saying that his party will not support it. Davis saying in a statement, quote, on the face of it, this makes no economic sense. Shell North America should be very careful before entering into this transaction. The PLP does not agree and will not agree to a secretive, open-ended, and wholesale divestment of Bahamian patrimony once again. This is BTC all over again. Under this F&M government, we have seen Bahamian assets given away at a fire sale prices, BTC, the Iraq port, the Prince George dock. In the end, it's the Bahamian taxpayer who suffers and bears the brunt of the cost. Davis urged the government to come clean on what it plans to do with BPL. So they've come back with Shell again, but added Focol in the mix. What has changed? Let's talk about it. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll-free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Now, yesterday, the Prime Minister did mention that some of the other things that have held back BPL, including some bad deals and inefficient Wärtsilä engines, and that this is going to help rectify the situation. With the old deal, the memorandum of understanding that the Minutes administration signed with Shell had Shell as the project developer for the power project, which would include the development of the marine infrastructure to receive liquefied natural gas, a gas pipeline to bring gas to shore, onshore LNG regasification terminals, and a new gas-fired 220-plus megawatt power plant. Shell was to become an independent power producer, would cover the cost of the constructing of the plant, which was reportedly expected to be upwards of $100 million. BPL would in turn pay Shell to supply electricity. And then we'll go through what's expected here again in just a bit. But let's take some of your calls before we dive a little bit deeper into this. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, sir, and how are you today?
Doing well. Good morning.
You asked the question, what's the difference, or the question is asked, what's the difference? I'm looking in from one who has been in working along with the far end, and I think the difference is, and it has always been, depending on who is in government and who is friendly to the government, gets the preference. And I'm saying that, let me be more specific. I think in the case of Focal, during the pandemic and the end of the pandemic, when the dealers at strike and things like that, you were still able to get your gasoline with Shell, and I think it's also managed by that same company. And I say no more, but I think that is also part of the relationship with the government and that entity. But I'm hoping that there is a benefit to the country at large and to the people and to the population. So, as I started off, usually each government does their thing, and their side is always the government in power side is always teaming, off saying that my offering is better than the offering of the other. And based on that, I say the connections and who is working along with it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's be careful now. We got a lot of different Shells. There's Shell North America and Shell Sun Oil, which is what Focol operates here. It's not exactly what we're talking about here. But let's. I know it's challenging to focus. It's so. Yeah, but let's hear from this caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm happy actually that government finally found the technical fortitude to move forward with LNG. But I do remember LNG was brought up about 15 years ago by Mr. Leslie Miller. I guess back then, the persons who were speaking about how much it's going to save now probably didn't see it fit to release the monopoly or be involved, so they held it back. But we could have been in about $100 million if they'd used it when Mr. Leslie was suggesting it, or at least begin to work toward it.
I think the issue was with the company that was proposed at that time and where that company is situated.
Okay,
right?
but
and that might, as you see, where the fate of that country now, that might
Okay, I
have
got
been
that.
for the best for us not to deal with it. But the idea, clearly with merit, LNG in general, but just that company, perhaps, was the problem.
Well, let's just look forward, man, because we've been going back and forth, and finally we're going forward. So let's see how much savings is gonna.
Well, we thought we were going forward last time too, right? And then an election. Well, a lot of things happened, and then an election happened, and then here we are. But we will see. We will see.
If the government changed, then that will be scrapped.
I don't know, but you have seen the patterns.
Yeah, right.
You've seen the patterns.
I do dwell and delve in patterns.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take another call. We got a whole lot of great messages this morning. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? I'm hearing myself. Caller, are you with us?
Hello.
Hi. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Yes, hello, Dwight.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey,
You got to turn on your radio.
Dwight, what confuses me, and I believe confuses most of our Bahamian people. I feel that most of us, I term it as nationalists, and we love our country. But for years now, Dwight, since I saw our flag go up for the first time, we seem to always be moving backwards, but we keep celebrating that we're moving forward. It's always about this group and that group, the yellow shirt, the red shirt, about what the F&M did, and what the PLP did, and at the end of the day, we still got one electrical company, one group mass of Bahamian people, and all we keep hearing is this deal, this hotel deal in Freeport, this gas deal in Nassau. And every time you and I and our family head to the food store to eat healthy, which is the wealth of the nation.
All right, but how do you feel about what's happening right now with this?
But what I'm saying, Dwight, most of us don't understand the deals. There's always some new deal.
Yeah.
So, Dwight, what are we going to do? You and I and my family going to do when these couple people, there's 39 people, every 5 years, we put them in house assembly, and they cut deals, and they bang on the table, and then there's a deal, and then this other one tells us what the F&M did, what the PLP did. It's still our 39 Bahamian people cutting a deal. What about the people that we sent off to universities, to school, to get educated, to show us what's the best thing to do for the Bahamians, rather than the foreigners coming here and telling us what's the best thing to do for the foreigner. Have a good day.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's get back to these stories, and we do want to play something for you from a few years ago. But so Chester Robards again writing today that in 2020, Shell was approved to be an independent power producer by ERCA. Negotiations carried on with Shell and BPL BPL's then board, for almost 3 years, after which the F&M lost the government. Now, the road to the development of LNG facilities will include Focol, though it was not stated yesterday exactly what the relationship between Shell and Focol will look like. What is their role in this? Shell, though, will be selling fuel to a special purpose vehicle that will be developed and run by the government. So again, how different is this from what was proposed all those years ago? Let's go back into the archives to play a story from Guardian News Network on the MOU that was signed between BPL and Shell North America. Take a listen to this report.
Bahamas Power and Light officials signed a memorandum of understanding with Shell Gas and Power Development BV for a gas-to-power project at Clifton Pier, a move that BPL officials say will ultimately lead to cheaper energy costs and will significantly reduce the number of blackouts. Friday's signing comes 6 months after Cabinet selected Shell as the preferred bidder to help solve BPL's power generation woes. The MOU establishes Shell as the developer for the project, which includes the development of marine infrastructure to receive LNG, a gas pipeline to bring LNG on shore, an LNG regasification terminal, and new gas-fired 200 to 250 plus megawatt power plant. BPL Board Chairman Donovan Moxey said BPL will now begin negotiations with Shell for the power purchase agreement.
And the next step is to negotiate what's called a definitive agreement, and that's what we refer to as our power purchase agreement. And it'll probably take about maybe 4 to 5 months to complete that negotiations. And then once that's done, then we start moving the project forward.
Shell is seeking to meet New Providence's long-term energy needs by constructing a liquefied natural gas-driven power plant. However, it will be several years before the plan is brought to fruition.
So the hope for us is that we get construction started soon enough so that we can have the plant online by the early 2020s. Our target goal is sometime before around 2022, but you never know what may delay the project.
The BPL board chairman said the project promises to not only bring more stable power generation, it will also lessen the environmental impact as well as reduce the electricity costs.
One of the largest components of cost for any utility is power generation. And so one of the reasons that we could see our costs coming down is we're shifting the cost of generating power now to an IPP. An IPP's sole goal is to make sure that power that's generated is in a cost-effective and efficient manner.
The Guardian understands that the plant will cost upwards of $100 million. However, Moxey said Shell will fit the bill for the construction of the plant.
When you look at the construction costs, the costs associated with building this plant, BPL would bear none of those costs.
So what would we be paying for?
What we'll be paying for is the electricity supply that they provide to us. So when you structure an IPP or an independent power producer, what the utility does is then purchases power from them at a negotiated rate. And that's what we're working toward, negotiating that rate.
Meantime, Shell Country Chairman Mark Regis says following today's signing, officials say the next step is to finalize negotiations.
We are excited to pursue this project with BPL and pleased to have taken this first step in signing the MOU. We still have several milestones to meet, but we are optimistic about the future and our ability to move this project forward.
Okay, so that was a few years back. And again, we read to you the statement, the NASA Guardian article from 2020, where the opposition leader, Phil Brave Davis, warned Shell over BPL and LNG, again saying, quote, on the face of it, this makes no economic sense. Shell North America should be very careful before entering into this transaction. The PLP does not agree and will not agree to a secretive, open-ended, and wholesale divestment of Bahamian patrimony. Once again, under this F&M government, we have seen Bahamian assets given away at fire sale. Davis urged the government to come clean on what it plans to do with BPL. That was 5 years ago, but Shell is at it again. And not speaking at the press conference yesterday, only Focol, which is now in the mix, and not entirely sure if they are the special purpose vehicle. What's going on? But as you heard, the energy minister says they're going to be doing a lot of public education. So we will hopefully have answers before the end of the year when things are expected to get moving with it all. Okay, let's get your text messages in and your calls. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. I'm sure what the government wants you to focus on is that we will save $50 million a year and even greater amounts as this moves along. That's the part you're supposed to look at, and that your costs will come down and that we'll have more reliable electricity. Don't mind that some things might have changed and some other things didn't change at all, even though we had issues with the things before. But we're fine with it now because now our people are here and our people are in it and everything's great now, perhaps. I don't know. But that's how it works. Sure. Some text messages. This person says here, does BPL have any engines or generators that operate with LNG? Not the Wärtsilä ones. That's a good question. You know the difference you know already what the difference is, and the Bahamian people cannot buy shares in the new proposal, whereas they could have in the old proposal. And you've already answered. You just answered your own question. What has changed? The answer is the addition of Focol and Frankie Wilson. Oh boy. And under the previous F&M administration's deal with Shell, there was no middleman. Why does the PLP have to insert Focol into this deal? Let's see what this caller has to say. Good morning, caller, on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
Well, I mean, you spelled it out clear. With the previous administration, the signal out that Frankie Wilson was put in as the third middleman. Now, my thing is, why could not the present-day government have not to put Frankie Wilson there and just put an investment fund for the purpose of the Bahamian people to be that partner with Shell North America? Why is it every time that we come to power, we wind up cutting our own selves as the Bahamian people short, and just a select few, just to have the upper hand in any investment in the country that the government is putting forth? That's a crying shame. That's my contribution.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Are you there? Call us back. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Okay. Some more questions here, more text messages here. Dwight, you asked what changed. Well, the government changed. Right. Last time he was championing LNG from years ago, yes. This person says here, I don't trust any of these administrations. There's too much secrecy on these deals that will affect Bahamians for generations to come. We are really the conch. We are of conch status, I think it's trying to say. Congrats, Focol, for locking up this $1 million deal. Okay. Well, we need some specifics. Some real specifics. Why do we always play crazy and ask what's changed? We have watched this movie many, many times. The government changed. And what's wrong is now right because the different players are involved. It's no mystery. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Hey, Dwight. Yeah, well, congratulations to the FNM and the PLP, man. You know, they finally got cash cow locked right down. You know, because we like to play pretend inside this country, but you know, we know the face and the owners that are Focol. Focol is owned by the PLP and the FNM, and we have to start calling these things for what they are. And right now, these two political parties, they locked down a deal what could seal the fate for the Bahamian people moving forward. That's what they did, and they're not going to stop there. That's just the beginning if the Bahamian people allow them to. You know, because ain't nothing inside this country for the Bahamian people. It appears that everything in this country for the PLP and the FNM, and they can do whatever it takes to ensure that that happens, and this is what we are watching today. So congratulations to the PLP and the FNM, to owners of Focal, for sealing a deal which will put the Bahamian people deeper in poverty, in my opinion.
I don't know about
Have a
that
nice
last
day,
part.
Dwight.
I don't know if you can say that last part there. We don't know that. One final call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
Hello?
Yeah, we're doing well. How are you?
Yes. In your statement earlier, you said that under the previous deal, the Shell company would have owned the Clifton plant. Didn't you say that earlier? Under the previous deal.
They were going to be responsible for building
Ownership. You said also ownership. Go back in your statement and you'll see where you said that. Okay? Under this deal, Clifton plant will still be in the hands of the Bahamian people. That's the difference in that. Okay? But anything to bring cheaper energy for the Bahamas at this time. Thank you, guys.
Anything? Okay. Well, anything. Yeah. This texter says here, the country is just rife with conflict of interest. When this government came to power, they handed over all... okay, I don't know about that. I can't... well, okay, this is a lot that you're saying here. This is some serious stuff. Can't read this on the air without... I'm going through it. Where is this pipeline going? LNG has a notoriously poor safety track record. What is the fallout of an explosion? Based on the extent of an explosion, what would be the impact on nearby communities? Construction is not our main concern. Third-degree burns, lung cancer, death, those that we want to prevent. Somebody who cares, please give us the plan. We got to go to the news. When we come back, we'll have more on this deal. But are you looking forward to the savings that are being touted here? That this will bring down the cost of energy and bring more reliable electricity to the country, well, New Province especially. We're not hearing much you say anything about that. What's that about? And then again, will we ever get the answers that we're looking for? We're going to talk more. This is Morning Blend on a Friday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Yes! Oh, donkeys. Oh, y'all donkeys. Come on. They're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our...
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:21, it is time for your final look at weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. So we've got a rather dry, cold front that is making its way across the northern and northwest Bahamas and eventually the central Bahamas today. It's expected in over the southeastern islands by tonight. A high-pressure system along with a stable air mass will quickly move across the area behind the front. That high pressure is going to be the dominant weather feature into the weekend and for the beginning of next week. Sea swells will slowly subside across the northwest and central Bahamas over the weekend, but small craft operators and beachgoers in the southeastern islands should be alert as we're expecting choppy seas and rough surf into next week. Then on Tuesday, a more robust frontal boundary is expected to move across the northern islands before drifting south. So for now, though, boaters and swimmers are urged to avoid Atlantic waters and channels due to the swells. And we've got the ongoing brush fire risk, especially for Grand Bahama and the areas east of Freeport, as well as for North Andros. Everyone's being advised to exercise extreme caution, especially during early morning hours and during periods of limited visibility. And again, with the elevated sea risk for the southeastern islands, Atlantic beaches and channels are subsiding, but there's still the potential for hazardous rip currents and choppy seas along those areas tonight through tomorrow. Beachgoers and small craft operators should avoid these areas. There is also a risk for the northern Bahamas as well. For today, your forecast: variably cloudy and mild, turning fair and cool tonight for the northern and northwest Bahamas. Partly cloudy to cloudy through tonight for the central islands. Partly to mostly sunny today, becoming cloudy tonight for the southeast Bahamas. We're looking at high temperatures in the upper 70s for the northern and northwest islands. That's about 24, 25 Celsius. And around 79, 80 for the central and southeastern islands, about 26 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 59 to 60 for the northern and northwest Bahamas. That's Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius. And the mid-60s, around 64 Fahrenheit for the central and southeast Bahamas, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook for your weekend, for Saturday, tomorrow, partly sunny in the northern and northwest Bahamas, variably cloudy in the central and southeastern islands, becoming mostly fair at night across all areas. Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds, becoming mostly fair at night. And for Monday, again, a mix of sun and clouds in the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy by the evening and elsewhere throughout the day. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Dull walls bringing you down? Well, Sherwin-Williams Paints has the cure. Don't have your place looking toe up. Get that glow up with the superior quality of Sherwin-Williams Paints. And it's time for a check of traffic, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your real-time traffic, as usual, Milo Butler Highway seeing some very heavy traffic at this hour from well south of Bellot Road, straight through the Fire Trail roundabout and all the way up to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. Traffic is backed up along Fire Trail both directions, and Faith Avenue seeing some very slow-moving northbound traffic as you approach Fire Trail right now. Over on Gladstone Road, it is a similar story. Heavy traffic is north of Fire Trail all the way up to JFK Drive, Bahamar Boulevard. And Blue Hill Road also busy for you near Carmichael, straight through to Independence Drive if you're heading northbound. Slow-moving westbound traffic on Independence Drive as well. And Blue Hill's going to get busy for you once again once you get north of Celery Drive on the way to Cordo Avenue near Big Pond. West Bay Street, we've got issues near Nassau Street if you're heading into downtown, just east of Arawaki. Heavy traffic both directions there. And further west near New Providence Highway at Saunders Beach, slow-moving eastbound traffic. And Eastern Road from just east of Fox Hill to Johnson Road, slow-moving westbound traffic, but some congestion on the eastbound side as well near Johnson Road. and Robinson Road between Soldier and Marathon Road and East-West Highway. Slow-moving westbound traffic for you at this hour. That's your real-time traffic and your Working Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawing live at the Vibes Cartel concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
Are you ready to indulge in the islands of the Bahamas? Take off to TCI, hop over to Havana, or fly to Florida. No matter the destination, jumpstart your journey with Bahamas Air, the national fly carrier of the Bahamas. Take advantage of our frequent flyer program and exclusive hotel and car deals. Book your flight now at bahamasair.com or visit your local ticket sales office in Nassau or Grand Bahama. Bahamas Air, we don't just fly here, we live here.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Nassau Tile is celebrating 95 years in business by giving you 20% off store-wide. Catch the sale on all tiles, thin set grout, mosaics, and more. Save up to 30% off ceramic and select mosaic and backsplash tiles. Our experts will guide you in selecting the right tiles. Visit Nassau Tile on Doswell Street or call 322-2100 to make your dream space a reality. Don't miss the marvelous March anniversary sale from March 24th to 29th. Follow Nassau Tile on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
I've been up at Penda and I meet him in the showroom. I said, Penda, I just come out of a showroom in Portugal and let me tell you something, them showroom and selection ain't got nothing on yours. Man, I like this stock of porcelain and ceramic tile you got here. What I really like is the range of sizes that come in, 8x48, 12x24, 24x24, and what I really like more than the things I really like is the price. From $275 a square foot to $494 a square foot and all in between. You can't beat that, not even with a 2x4 from Enterprises.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected. It's good to be alive.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
We're back with Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Friday morning. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with the Bahamas Red Cross about their upcoming fair. And later in business, it's our monthly HR series. We're talking about holding on to your talent, retaining your talent, and how challenging that can be these days. What's your company doing right and wrong? We're going to get into all of that this morning. All right, so we continue with the discussion about the LNG deals that were signed yesterday and understanding the deals. So let's get another perspective on this. So I'll read this article in the Tribune. The government has signed 2 agreements to facilitate the development of a liquefied natural gas terminal at Clifton Pier, with officials projecting $50 million in annual fuel savings during the project's first phase. Government officials did not take questions from the press about the agreements. The first agreement, a terminal development and use agreement, was signed with New Providence Gas, a subsidiary of Focal Holdings Limited. The second agreement for LNG supply was signed with Shell. The terminal will be built in phases, with the first 2 expected to cost just under $200 million. Focal and Shell will jointly construct and finance the terminal. A government-owned special purpose vehicle will purchase LNG from Shell and resell it to various power generators. Transport and Energy Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis said the agreements would accelerate the transition to LNG in the Bahamas. She explained that in the first phase, a small-scale LNG vessel chartered by Shell will deliver LNG onshore, where it will be converted into natural gas at the terminal later this year. Initially, the gas will be used in turbines at Clifton Pier, with later phases expanding its use to other power facilities in New Providence. Prime Minister Philip Davis, described the agreements as vital to the country's energy reform and economic development strategy. He said the development of the LNG terminal at Clifton Pier will help Bahamians transition to cleaner energy, with Phase 1 set to begin before the end of this year. He added that integrating LNG into the fuel mix would reduce reliance on diesel and oil, significantly cutting carbon emissions, while also providing more stable and affordable fuel costs. Davis pointed to the impact of the equity rate, saying that 58,000 households had electricity bills below $125 in January. He also outlined plans to expand solar energy across several islands, including Abaco, Andros, Eleuthera, Exuma, New Providence, Long Island, and San Salvador, while modernizing the power grid to improve reliability and reduce costs. Attorney General Ryan Pinder said the government expects LNG to be in the country by November 1st, with the terminal operational by that time. He explained that as additional power generation units come online and the terminal expands in phases 2 and 3, the capacity to offload gas will increase. He said the goal is to have a full LNG supply in New Providence within 18 months, capable of meeting the entire baseload of BPL. Pinder also highlighted the project, estimating that Phase 1 alone would result in $50 million in annual fuel savings for consumers. By Phase 4, he projected yearly savings could reach $180 million, freeing up significant funds that could circulate through the economy, support small businesses, and create new investment opportunities. Focal Holdings Chairman Franklin Wilson, Sir Franklin, said the initiative would provide a more reliable energy supply while lowering costs and promoting environmental sustainability. He said the project would strengthen the country's capital markets, stimulate economic growth, and demonstrate a commitment to long-term environmental responsibility. All right. So if you notice, we've read several articles today. No mention of a specific 4-letter word, pike. Nothing about that at all. What's happening with that? How will this fit in, mix in with the pike deal? What does it mean? What's happening there? We keep being told it's being finalized and dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And it's interesting they didn't take questions there, although we're told in one of our articles that Pinder did speak to reporters a little bit after the press conference. So let's get your reaction to this. Again, continue. We've been getting your calls and text messages all day already. This person says here, give Focal a break. I own some of their share. Benefit from that, eh? A lot of these are things I can't read on the air. But anyway, this person says ignorance, politics, passivity, and mass psychosis makes for a politician's paradise as they divide us. The citizens that hold the real power. Politicians are all guilty of selling hope that really is unlikely to happen. And it's getting into drugs and stuff. I don't know what's happening there, but okay. So are you not having any hope at all that this could turn things around? What's the issue? Let's hear from this caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
You know, you the same things I call to talk about is what you the drying, the yet to be dried ink on the Pike deal. I want to find, because I know Dr. Sands is usually always listening. I want to find out because they might have secretly gotten some information from the Minister for Energy. I want to know if they got any answer on the Pike deal as yet, and where is the yet to be seen savings that we would have gotten. So if we're supposed to be getting this great savings from Pike, why do we still need the LNG? And how long will it take for us to get any information out of this government concerning these things? I am very concerned. I am yet to see the great savings from the Pike deal, and now here it is, they're bringing me another sweet deal. You know, the government
the
is
Pike deal isn't finalized yet, so you wouldn't see that. Not yet.
And on top of that, they are secretly, if anyone knows, privatizing sections of the government agencies, the ministries, because the road paving section of Ministry of Works has been...
I don't know if that is accurate at all. Gotta stop you there. Okay, but I hear you. Interesting comments and questions so far. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller on the air.
Hey, Dwight.
Hi.
Yeah, you said the deal of the Pike deal ain't finalized yet, right?
Right.
Okay, but that's something different from the LNG deal which they signed, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so all right, so seeing that they missed putting these this is a suggestion, right? Because the LNG, right? I believe they missed the opportunity in including some lot of fire engines in that deal, right? Because I believe if they'd have just put one extra $2-3 million, $4 million on that, right, we could have gotten some brand new spanking fire engines that could deal with the type of situation that we what we facing in this country, right? But seeing that they missed that deal, right? You think the people who listen, right? You think that we could possibly get some fire engines incorporated into this Pike deal?
Why would they do that?
Because the country is needing it, and this foreign or this company is going to be benefiting from the taxpayers who are in jeopardy of losing their house right now simply because in the event of a fire is lost. So
okay, maybe not with those folks, but there are other people that perhaps that can be proposed to. Not this way. We are the ones who are desperate for their help. I don't think they're like, what? We have to give you a fire engine? Okay, but there are other people that we could hit up, I guess, for something like that. But I hear you. And this final call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing? Into the wild Bahamas.
Good morning.
Dwight, what I'm missing from this is this. Yeah, we're 4 years into this administration, and we are yet to see an energy strategy released anywhere. Tell us its short, medium, and long-term ambition, on the SWOT analysis, a pastel analysis, a need analysis, a strategy to deal with the $2 billion worth of legacy debt, which includes the outstanding plus the infrastructure needed for the grid for the entire New Providence and the outer islands. You don't have anything. What you have is a ad hoc shantytown type build-out with promises of hope as the new dope that something will change. They are building something, but we are not privileged to what that is, or none exists. And they're simply making stuff up as they go along. Why don't we have a strategy, a country strategy right now for energy, to show us anticipation and studies that show us our current consumption, a strategy for reduction, a strategy for plugging into microgrids, a strategy for the rehumping of the grid, to put in a smart grid, projected use over term, all of these different things, as well as the anticipated cost and savings and everything. They do not have a strategy, and essentially they've been gaslighting us with talk about, believe us that this time, this thing we're going to do is going to work to do something. Just believe. Hope, hope, hope. New dope, new dope, new dope. This government is making stuff up. They do not have a plan. They do not have a strategy. And energy is a key factor in the growth of any economy, especially the 21st century. And this group is clueless, or they would have produced a plan by now, 4 years later. Thank you.
Well, the energy minister, thank you so much. The energy minister says that an education campaign will be a part of this. We will see. We will see. All right, we are going to leave that there. Hopefully we will... got to peruse this and go through the old one and see the new one and what exactly is the difference other than focal. Focal is the Freeport people tell me. That's the way you say it. We'll look at that over the weekend, and hopefully we'll know more. And we'll see if where Pike lands in all of this with this deal that is so close, and how all of this will work together. And what are these bills going to look like after everything is done? We're looking at the single-digit bills because everything's going to make it lower. You hear that? But we'll see. We'll keep you posted, though. We're going to be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from around the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
Here's the show-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor in paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil, shrimp,
clays.
stew, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawing live at the Vibes Cartel concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Why were you going running so fast?
I'm running. Hunger pushing me to Jerry's Diner and Chuck E. D's Ice Cream Parlor.
Well, where they is?
Right there on the corner of Joe Fran and Road in Fox Hill. Me and the boys been there the other day for breakfast, and Jerry's Diner to serve everything you could think of, stew and boiled, from fish to conch to... Pass me one tissue, man. My mouth watering, man. And these is come with Johnny Cake or grits.
Boy, Jerry's Diner can on.
Hold on. I wouldn't talk about lunch. Peas, bean, and okra soup. Group of fingers, steamed pork chop, chicken, mutton. And I wouldn't talk with the Cornish hen. And all these is come with rice and 2-side order. Man, pass me that book, man. Let me find myself. This menu making me sweat.
Sweat? Man, Chuck E. D's Ice Cream Parlor got plenty ice cream to cool you down.
That's right. Chuck E. D's Ice Cream Parlor got all the Edie's flavors plus banana splits, sundaes, smoothies, daiquiris, and milkshakes.
So what you waiting on? I hear Jerry's Diner to be crowded, and I can't wait to try one of them banana split from Chuck E. D's Ice Cream Parlor.
I'm following you now.
Jerry's Diner and Chuck E. D's Ice Cream Parlor. The real deal Bahamian meal on the corner of Joe Farrington and Fox Hill Road.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
Is this a party or what? This the big bad, sir. Take it out. Oh, yeah. Let's do it, y'all. Tonight the mood is right. Gal, them look so nice. Keep on playing this sweet old music. Say the people can't refuse it. Outside in the open air, holding my baby oh so near, with one hand in her hand and one arm around the waist. We having a party in the backyard. Oh yeah, party all night long. We gonna
and scrape until the morning come.
We're gonna
party till the break of dawn.
Yes, man. Party, party.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Friday morning. We are just about a week and a day away from the 81st Annual Red Cross Fair. Here to tell us all about this, we are very pleased to have with us President of the Bahamas Red Cross, Edison Sumner. We have Chair of the Red Cross Fair Committee, Shanicia Swan. And we have Communications Officer and the Fair Committee member, Travis Edgecombe. Great to have you all with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Right. 81st Annual.
Yeah.
My goodness. Wow. All right. Let's talk about it. How important is the Red Cross Fair to the Bahamas Red Cross Society?
The Red Cross Fair is extremely important. You're talking about 8 decades of doing this, and we found that this is the oldest social event in the Bahamas consistently.
Yeah.
So for 81 years we've been doing this. I've been around for a few of those years. Not all.
A few.
But the fair is extremely important. It is a staple in the Bahamian social scene. It's one of the oldest events that we've been hosting in this country that attracts members, family members, community members, and we know that we're coming together not only to have a good time, because no doubt you'll have a good time, but imagine that you're having a good time while you're supporting such a great humanitarian organization, the largest in the world, and certainly the largest in the country as well. So every effort we make by attending these fairs and other events of the Red Cross are all meant to support the work that we're doing in this country. And I must tell you, the work is tremendous, more than people can see from the naked eyes.
Right.
But it's a tremendous support when people come out to support these fairs.
All right, so we'll get to the fair in a bit, but let's talk more about the work that you're doing and how much do you normally raise from this and how much does that help in what you need to do each year?
It's a tremendous help because it bridges us between our other major fundraising events like the ball, the fair, tea parties, and the rest of it. We're hoping this year, and I've given a tall mandate to the chair and the committee, we want to see some high six figures coming out of this event. And it's not unachievable. We've done this before. Last year we were coming upon and rebuilding some things with the fair. This year I expect there to be even greater participation, even greater returns. So I'm hoping that we can net from this no less than probably $120,000 to $150,000, more if we can get more, certainly. But even that money, as we projected and we've made us, we've forecasted it, that money's already spent because of the programs that we've got to maintain on a daily basis. But it also comes at a very good time because we are now preparing ourselves for the new Atlantic hurricane season. So funds that are raised from this fair will also be set aside as reserves to support any, hopefully nothing will happen, but in the event that something happens, we'll have some reserves coming in to support victims of any natural disasters coming out of the hurricane season. And then, of course, we've got our Meals on Wheels daily feeding program where in some days we're feeding upwards of 200 families in this country. Hot meals every day, and on a monthly basis providing certain other families with food parcels to support them as well. It goes towards our training and development program for our CPR training, first responder training initiatives. And we have some great ambitions this year to begin building out our family islands even further. We're looking to establish a physical presence on a number of islands. Right now, we've got a physical presence here, of course, with the HQ. We've got a presence in Freeport. We have a smaller presence in Abaco. But we're hoping that by the end of this year, we will have established a physical presence on other islands like Exuma, at least 2 in Andros. We want to reestablish our presence in Long Island. We've had one there before. And looking at some other islands in the southeast part of the country as well. So the work that we're doing is quite significant. And then, of course, it goes towards we have to continue to train our people in the areas of humanitarian work and first responder training initiatives.
Yeah. How are donations? We know around the holidays, some organizations were saying they weren't seeing as many donations as in previous years. How are they looking for you all?
Things are looking better now. Coming out of COVID, a lot of wallets closed because everybody was going through a period of uncertainty. But we've seen a lot of people coming back, not only in donations and contributions. We're still not where we want to be, but we are certainly doing a lot better than we were doing a few years ago. And we're also seeing a lot of people coming back to the Red Cross as volunteers, coming back in as members. So we are very pleased. I am certainly very pleased to see that our numbers are increasing. Just 3 weeks ago, we inducted almost 300 young people into the Junior Links program of the Red Cross. And we've got 2 more of those inductions to go for the rest of the year, which means that there can be another 300 to 600 young people coming into our volunteer program. So yeah, we're quite excited about that.
Yeah. What do you need to do to be a volunteer? What's required?
Well, you have to go through a training program. You've got to take an online exam to be sure that you are fit and proper for the role.
Okay.
Let me make it clear. You can't just walk into the Red Cross and say, I want to volunteer,
Right.
and we
Don't
just
put
put
on
you on the
gloves
front
and-
line.
no.
No, that doesn't work that way because we are a responsible organization, right? So there's a process you go through. You've got to fill out some paperwork. You've got to do online tests. You've got to get some training and let you know what the Red Cross is all about. And then when you become a volunteer, you're not called out every day, right? You're called upon when there's a need for you. So we don't overwhelm you with work every single day. Although we've got some volunteers who come into the office every day to assist with administrative support and the rest of it. So if you're interested in becoming a volunteer, just reach out to us to the Red Cross, let us know, and we'll be glad to onboard you into our process.
Okay, wonderful
We'd
stuff.
Love to have it.
That's good. All right, so a week to go, basically. Are you ready? You ready for this?
are ready.
Yes, we are. All right, so is there a special theme for this year, Shanicia?
This theme this year is from generation to generation, and we chose that theme because we want to get back the younger generation and tie them in with the older generation I don't call us old, but we know about the Red Cross Fair and the Red Cross as on the whole. So we want to get the younger generation mindset to give back and connect, and with the mindset that even the $10 entrance fee could go towards feeding a family here in the Bahamas or relief to whatever cost it is. So we want to bring the younger generation back out to the fair. So this year, we start at 12 noon, March 29th. And as soon as we start, we have the St. John's Junior Junkanoo group opening up the fair. So we're going to have Junkanoo opening the fair.
Beginning, not
this
at the
year,
end,
the
beginning.
younger generation, right. And then after that, we have the high school pop bands. Travis will tell you a lot more about the entertainment. But we want to get the younger generation, and then we're going to move up to the older generation. We have a praise party, a We Scullin' party, and we're closing out with the Valley Boys Junkanoo group.
Okay, all right. Commentary about them. But Valley Boys will be there.
It's only one now.
Well, okay. Well, tell us more about the entertainment, Travis.
Okay, so basically at the beginning of the fair, we will have the Battle of the Bands. So we're featuring a few of the high schools, St. Anne's, R. and Bailey, a few of the other, CV Bethel, Government High, UB, all of those bands are going to be a part of the Battle of the Bands. And then at 3 o'clock, we have the opening ceremony where we will have the Excellency Cynthia Pratt will be at the fair, and they will be having the opening ceremony, and we will be featuring the EP Roberts All Boys Choir.
Okay.
So they will be there to perform at the opening ceremony. And then at 4 o'clock.
So wait, there will be a Battle of the Bands? There will be a winner selected or something like that? Or is it a real competition? Or we just...
Well, it's a battle.
It's a battle.
It's entertainment, but it's also going to be who's going to shine the most at the end of the day.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So we will get to decide.
Yes.
All right.
So we want all of those schools mentioned. We want those kids to come out and support your school.
Okay. Yes. Excellent.
Yes, and then at 4 o'clock we have the praise party, which is going to be DJ'd by DJ Godson. So that will feature V Mac, Antonio J. Thompson, Shabak, Willissa Niobe Mackey, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Choir, Kenyatta Taylor, and so much more.
Okay.
Then later on at 7 o'clock, we have the We Scullin' Party, which I'm really excited about as well. Headlining that is Nishi LS, Miss Loose Me, Let Me Go. And then after that, we have Johnny Cake. We also have Shine Bahamas, Melody, Ilsha, and it'll be backed up by Shad Colley and the VIPs.
Okay. All right.
So we are excited about that as well. And then closing out, like Shanicia said, there will be a Junkanoo Rush Out, and that will be from 12 noon until the wheels fall off.
Oh, it's going to be midnight.
Till midnight.
And all of that is only $10.
$10. You
And
experience all of that.
children, $5.
Excellent. So
Can't
this
beat
is
that.
This is a big party. This is a
Yes,
big party.
it is.
An all-day party.
All-day party. And then also we have a domino tournament that we will also be having at the Red Cross Fair. And we will start with the juniors, starting from ages 13 to
18.
18. And then later we have from 19 and up.
And the prize for the seniors domino is a brand new grill.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have earbuds for the junior winner of the domino tournament as well.
Excellent.
And then we also have a kids corner. So the kids are not left out. We have the kids corner where we'll have rides. We have the jumbo games.
Spider-Man will be there.
Yes. Spider-Man will be there as well. And then also we have a special stall that's going to feature all of the past presidents that were a part of the Red Cross. So they will be there as well.
yeah.
So that's legacy. So you get to come up to that stall and ask the past presidents questions, learn about your history, about the Red Cross. All of that will be there. And of course, we want everyone to enjoy the food. So we have over 50 stalls at the Red Cross Fair this year at our Waukee Heritage Site. So we want everyone to come out, from the grandmothers to the aunts, uncles, cousins, mom, dad, children. We want everyone to come out to the Red Cross Fair next week, Saturday.
All right, you said it. The Arawaki Heritage Site.
Yes.
Is this the first time you're doing it there, or
No, it's our second time, third time at that particular location.
Okay.
And we found it's a very good location for us. We may return to government grounds at some point, but right now that is a very good location. It's adequate parking. It's good, clear visibility.
Yeah.
We get to attract the tourists. who
Right,
would
we
not
had
have
a
come
lot of
down to
tourists
the
last
government
year.
house, so
Right.
it's a great location
That's
for
great.
us, and we're gonna be there again this year.
Excellent. You said $10 for adults.
$10 for adults, $5 for children.
Okay. All right. And what else do people need to know about it? It's a week away. What else should people keep in mind when they're coming out there?
It's a week away. I think it's important that we get as many people out, because we don't want anyone to miss the experience. We grew up with the Red Cross. Our parents and our grandparents grew up on the Red Cross. For 81 years we've been doing this. So you want to bring people out so they can enjoy this part of it. It really has become a part of the Bahamian heritage. It's become a part of our culture. So we want people to enjoy the culture. Get your little. We used to go get. My mother used to buy us brand new clothes for the Red Cross Fair,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So get your fit on. Come out, enjoy it. Spend the day. Those parents who are concerned about having their children looked after, we've got a whole crew of professional people who are looking after your kids. You can leave them alone for several hours. They'll be well taken care of. Give you a chance to go and browse all the stores, have some fun, eat some good food, listen to some of the best music you will hear in this country.
Some good
And
entertainment.
I'll tell you one thing, Dwight. Any one of these artists can charge you upward to $50 plus just to hear them perform by themselves.
Yeah.
You got a whole cadre of the top gospel artists and the top secular artists in this country coming to perform, and you can do all of this for a single $10 note.
Excellent.
And $5 for kids.
Oh, yeah.
So come out, enjoy it. We want to get the churches out. Get the youth groups out to come and enjoy this. Bring your family, friends. Get your civic organizations come to enjoy it. And as Travis said, the food is going to be incredible. We've got some of the best food vendors you can find, and so the food is going to be. I'm actually on a diet now this week, and I'm cleansing myself because I want to sample everything.
Oh, boy.
Right? That's
Wow.
just how good it's going to be.
I know the legendary corn dogs. They're gonna be out there.
They're going to be out there.
Okay.
But I want to also challenge, though, even White Bahamas, for whatever reason you can't make it there and you can't stay, come to the Red Cross Fair, pay the entrance fee. It's going to aid towards something, That's a way you can give back. Just come out, pay the entrance fee, let that be your seed towards the efforts and what we're doing with the Red Cross.
Yeah. Let people know about the logistics. Is there an entrance, a special entrance, or can you enter from multiple areas, and security? What can you tell us about that?
So the main entrance is going to be on the side of Fish Fry. And we are working to ensure that we have smooth lines coming in this year. So there'll be no bottlenecks. No one's going to become frustrated because they're taking too long to get in. Right. So we've looked at what we saw as some of those challenges last year, and we've worked to correct those issues. So we expect that there's going to be single points of entry on the north side of Arawaki, on the Fish Fry side. We've got a lot of very strong, talented volunteers. We've got good, strong police presence who are our partners again this year. Excellent. To ensure that the fairgrounds are safe and enjoyable, and that we have good crowd control as well. So we expect that there's going to be efficient flow of people coming into the fairgrounds. Once you're in, right? But you'll be given bands to carry you throughout the day. So if you need to come in and out, you can do so.
Great.
But we've already worked on our crowd control issues. The police have been extremely good with us this year again, sitting on our planning committee. So we want to ensure and give confidence to everyone that you're coming to Props, one of the safest fairgrounds on the island. And it's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be safe. It's going to be friendly. We want to encourage people to come out. So don't worry about the crowd and whether you can get in on time. We'll be sure that there's no bottlenecks and frustrated people trying to get into the fairgrounds.
And you've got all the information on your social media, on
Yes.
Facebook, and so you can find out everything, get details about the times and of your favorite artists and everything.
Yes, all of the promo videos are on our social media platforms. All of the flyers for the Wee Scullin Party, the Praise Party concert, and also the main flyer for the fair is all on our social media, Instagram and also Facebook as well.
Excellent.
And then coming soon, TikTok as well.
Yeah.
TikTok as
Gotta
well.
have that.
TikTok. I just want to quickly emphasize, Dwight, that's important because this is one of the most exciting things for me that's happening this year is this Domino's tournament.
Yes.
I don't want
You're
to
gonna be playing?
I want to.
Yeah?
I want to slap some wood, you know.
Okay.
this.
All right. There you go.
But it's going to be incredible. I think we already have a tremendous amount of interest in this for both the young adults and the older people. And we put that Domino stand strategically next to the libation stand. You don't have to walk very far to get your refreshments.
It's right there.
But it's going to be an incredible event. And I want to encourage those men and women who like to play notes and think you are the king of the table.
Yeah.
Come and register, walk away with a tremendous prize and a floating trophy.
$30. And it's only $30.
To enter the tournament.
The Domino, right.
Okay. All right. Good stuff.
For a
there.
grill, you can't beat that.
Yeah, no, that's a great deal there. All right, so it's the 81st Red Cross Fair, the 81st Annual Red Cross Fair, next week, Saturday, March 29th, from noon to until. At Arawaki, the Fish Fry Heritage Site. Great stuff. Thank you so much, Anicia Swan.
Thank you.
Edison Sumner, Travis Hedgecombe for being with us this morning.
Thank
Appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
She dancing here with me. Been after her so long. Gonna keep her close to me. Because this dance floor is packed. People dancing back to back. Dancing to this sweet down sound. Everybody's getting down. Party in the backyard. Whoa. Party all night long. Whoa. Break and scrape until the morning comes. We're gonna party till the break of dawn.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, March 21st, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, and it is time for a monthly human resource series with Ahmad Rashad Thompson. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas. It is a pleasure to be back. I can't believe I'm back already.
It's been a month already.
It has been a month. It is March, Dwight.
The end of March, pretty much.
Jeez, my
Time
goodness.
is flying. First quarter done for the year.
Yes,
It's
wow.
insane.
Here we are.
Well, so this is going to be a good one today. I'm putting it all under the umbrella of employee retention.
Yes.
So, how to keep millennials and Gen Z interested in your company and keeping them around. Why is your best employee job hunting?
Yes, sir.
And employee engagement. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. These are great topics, Ahmad. You want to do this? We had some birthday shout-outs, you and I both, but you do yours.
Today, my father is 63 years old.
Wow.
Eddie Thompson is celebrating his birthday today. He's right now at a restaurant with his lovely bride, my lovely mother, and they're enjoying
Are they in the
life.
Bahamas?
They're in the Bahamas.
They love to travel.
They love that. They are actually anyway. I'm going to talk to business, but if you blink too soon, you'll miss them. But they are on the go. My dad has been phenomenal to us. He has just been he's been the example. I often reference him in my presentations and my workshops because of the style of work ethic he has and the dying breed that he is. He officially retired, officially on February 28th. So he's now just a man of leisure with his lovely bride again.
What are you saying? So he's not going to be on the show, or are we going to still see?
He doing the remote thing. He is done. He is DONE done.
Oh, boy.
But you never know. The world is a revolving door, and they may call Eddie T every now and again to do one or two things for them, but he is officially retired.
Oh, my goodness.
He's able to do and come and go as he pleases with his bride, and they are just having a phenomenal time. My cousin Rashay also celebrates her 30th birthday today. RMF! Happy birthday to you, my dear. That's a personal joke. I can't explain that. I saved my life now, so I can't really, divulge. Her baby girl, her baby, my cousin, celebrated her second birthday on March 3rd, so happy belated birthday to you. And my Auntie Vern celebrated her birthday on Monday. Happy belated birthday to you, Auntie Vern. God bless you. My cousin,
you got the whole...
Boy, Dwight is a whole thing. My cousin celebrated a huge personal milestone. Charlene, congratulations to you. I'm so proud of you. And my sister, Dwight, a wife, a mother, a full-time employee, just got her double degree in finance and compliance. She is a bad gal on this road.
Amazing.
In all the good ways. And I'm so proud of my sister. She is doing a phenomenal work. Go ahead, baby girl. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep crushing it. And that is all I have to do.
That's a lot. But happy birthday and congratulations to everybody
thank
there.
you so much.
Want to say happy birthday to my nephews during the big 21 today. So happy
21.
birthday to him as well. All right, so we got that out of the way. So this is a big topic, employee retention. Let's begin with the first part of this. Why is your best employee job hunting right now?
So Dwight, I put it this way. You have two types of employees in your organization, that you know about. The first is those that have just left, and the other is those that soon leave. Engagement, retention are not things that happen by chance. People stay not where they're tolerated, but where they can be grown, where they can be seen, where they are heard, where they are valued, where they are given an opportunity to demonstrate their ability. When you find your top employees leaving your organization, when you find even your employees, the ones who you was praying so hard would leave anyway, even when they leave, it's a telltale sign, Because what we find, Dwight, is most employees, whether happy or not, when they check out, they have checked out. It's not impossible to bring them back in, but it's very little you can do when a person has made up their mind. R. Kelly said it best, when a woman is fed up, Dwight, that is Delia, and nothing you could do. No prayer you could pray, no fast you could go on, it is done.
That's something I haven't heard in a long time. Kelly said it best.
I
Wow.
can tell you, it's a different time we in, Dwight.
Okay.
Boy. But I think when employers and leaders and individuals and organizations realize that their best is now starting to get quieter, they're starting to lose interest in speaking up and giving ideas and giving insight and being a part of the general discussion or the overall discussion, it's too late to pay attention. Every single day is an opportunity for you as a leader, for you as an organization, to tap into what your employees are saying or not saying. I talk about this all the time, Dwight. I've said it several times in the show. When you have these employee engagement surveys, please, the survey on its own is worthless. It's like when you were younger, Dwight, your Grammy told you that knowledge is power. Your Grammy lied. Now, Grammy isn't a liar. Don't, Miss Strawn, if you're listening, please, I didn't say, Mom, please. She's not a liar, but she did lie at one time. Dwight, you know something right now, you know better than doing something, but you still just do the wrong thing. You still just don't do that. You know better, but you don't do better. So what difference does it make to know what your staff have said and you do nothing with what they have said? Right? And so you immediately give your team members an opportunity to show you why they are so disgruntled, so disengaged, and so disenfranchised in your organization. If you ask them one question or 100 questions, when they give you the answer, please do something with it. What is the point? Why do you continue to do these surveys every year and push for participation results? Participation means nothing. If you have 100 people and only 4 of them fill out the survey, whatever they said, do something with it. The participation is what most organizations focus on. We had 97% participation, but you have 42% engagement. So the 97 people who answered the survey, or the 97% that answered the survey, are telling you plainly, as cleanly as they can say, I am not happy here. I need more of this, I need less of this. But you go and you broadcast your 97% participation rate and do nothing with the fact that the engagement is still 42%, right? You don't engage those employees further to say, listen, we saw the results from the survey. We understand that there was a concern about A. What can we do? The simplest thing you can do, Dwight, is create a focus group. You get a focus group that encompasses the majority of your workforce. So you have, let's say, 300-member workforce. You have different departments, engineering. You have, let's take a hotel, for example. Engineering, stewarding, you have housekeeping, you have front of house, you have the people in the front office, you have the people in the PBX departments. A subset of each of those employees, 1 or 2 from each one. You find one that is always bigoted and always negative. Bring them in the group. Do not disregard them. That person is your best resource, because they know everything in your organization and they're telling everybody about it. And everybody is listening to them, even if they tired of hearing them talk. When they talk, things has happened. So you bring that person into the conversation, right? So they can rag you. You want to be raggied in the situation. You want your forward thinkers in the conversation as well. You want persons who think objectively and analytically to be in the conversation.
Yeah. A lot of people can't take that, though.
Who? You mean the organization?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you are, Dwight, okay, my dad and my mom have been married for 38 years. If my mom is like, if you buy a bag of peanut, wow, oh my God, my husband is the best on earth. Big, my daddy ain't nothing sparkly. Like birthday is just, baby, let's go ride around and see what we could see. Mm-hmm. They simple people, but they listen to one another. So if my mommy says, I don't like peanut no more, I prefer fruit and nut chocolate. Mm-hmm. My daddy ain't gonna bring a peanut. He may ask her, well, tell me what's going on. Why you switch from peanut to fruit and nut? Or baby, now the peanut is get stuck in my teeth now. Or I just prefer fruit and nut because it's healthier. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Well, maybe this should be the reverse, but you know what I mean? Right. He's not going to push to make her eat the peanut if she's saying to him, his biggest stakeholder in life, Eddie, man, I prefer the fruit and nut. For Lord's sake, get the fruit and nut. Or give clarity as to why you can't or when you can. People are reasonable, Dwight. Mm-hmm. And even if you say to them today, listen, we heard you say, I always use the example with the Clorox and the beep because it's always in front of my face when I come here. But it's a simple but real life example. We are not in the position today to get you these particular items. Or we can, but we're going to have them ordered by so-and-so. Or explain, give clarity. I'm not saying give excuses. I'm not saying put up smoke screens. I'm saying to speak to your employees and listen to what they say.
Yeah. All right. So I noticed in a lot of your examples, you talk about these surveys.
Yeah.
And I guess the big companies you've been with, they do surveys, but there are a lot of people who don't do that.
At all.
At all.
At all.
So you won't know that your best employee is disgruntled.
No, you will. If you're paying attention, you will.
And a lot of them clearly don't pay attention.
And just because I'm disengaged does not mean I'm disgruntled, Dwight. Mm-hmm. I'm not negative, I'm not coming around here causing confusion. I'm not walking around slamming doors and acting off. I am simply no longer interested. Mm-hmm. I'm still performing because your high performers are not going to derail themselves on account of you.
Right.
They're not going to tarnish their reputation and their legacy because you running them hot.
Yeah.
What you will not do is hear them speak up anymore in meetings. You will not hear them give you any ideas for how to take this thing to the next level. You won't hear them giving you customer feedback anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to see them getting frustrated about the right things anymore.
No, I can imagine that some people will say, oh, well, things must be great since they're not saying anything anymore.
She ain't complaining to all as well.
Right. So
silence does not always give consent.
What do you do if you are that employer and you only find out that your best employee is job hunting when they tell you?
When they resign. It's my letter or the best. Exactly. And then you scramble it around. Oh, what we could do? It is too late.
Wow.
When I do my customer service training with clients, Dwight, I always tell them you have 2 customers that matter the most. Those that are happy and those that are not. Those that are not and those that are happy. That's it. So either I'm happy with you or I'm not. And if I'm happy, how do I make you happier? What makes you happy about our service? What makes you happy about this organization? Even though they smile in, because some people, Dwight, are just not cantankerous. They're just not negative people.
Right.
But this is what I'm done with. So they show up because I have to pay this mortgage and I'm going to perform. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to have the ability to say, look how I just fall by the wayside and stop performing. No. Because when they call for the reference from a new job, you got to speak the truth. And the truth is, he was always a top performer, always a so-and-so, always a so-and-so. What they would not say, but man, we fumbled the ball with him. We stopped talking to him because he was always smiling. Engage all of your employees. So once you can't stand to the ground, and the ones you think are Jesus, talk to them, engage them. Why are you happy being here? Have you thought about leaving this job in the last 30 to 60 to 90 days? If you have, what specifically is making you think that way? Is it the culture? Is it the people we bring on? Is it the systems we have? Is it the processes that we undergo? Is it the clients that we take on? What is keeping you here? What is making you feel like you so leave? When they tell you, listen, then act. Don't listen to react. Don't listen to give her a response. Listen to take action.
Well, that's the problem, though. So many seem so petty and take it personally. Should you have maybe a third-party person come in there and do this? And then let that person give the employer, the boss, the information?
Here's what happens. Okay, I'm usually the third party when I go to these organizations as a consultant. And because I listen, Dwight, this 9 times out of 10, the employees ask me, when you boss, they hiring you full time because mom, boy, you listen to people used. Oh, wow. Sir, Lauryn Hill said it best as well, Dwight. It could all be so simple. All you have to do is get off your soapbox. These people are doing the best they can to bring you the money you so desperately need, or so you want to keep it. Listen to your employees. Why would you take it personally when they tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear? If somebody says to me, Dwight, Ahmad, you are phenomenal with so-and-so, but every time you do this, it causes this reaction. I want to know that.
Yeah.
Now, will I be upset? Will I get some feelings hurt? Perhaps. But are you going to wallow and make all kind of noise, or will you say, you know what, for real, I need to advance, I need to stop, I need to start? An evolved leader is not concerned about how they feel about the feedback. They want to do something with the feedback. And if you find yourself as the leader, Dwight, so bothered by what was said, because you know what happens, Dwight? It's not what was said, it's who said it. Who she think she is. Who we think, man, for Lord's sake, end that. Is the feedback valuable? Everything somebody says is not necessarily going to be the truth about you, But take that and evaluate it. Is there any value to any validity, to what this person is saying about me, this organization, this department, this experience? If there is, get clarity on it.
Yeah.
And then when you get the clarity, start to make some decisions about it.
All right, so this is a good text here. This person, and I think this might be some of the reasons why the boss finds out at the last minute that the best employee is leaving. Can you ask Ahmad Thompson, why would subordinate employees feel their manager is unapproachable, and what are some things that can be done to change this from both perspectives?
Okay. People connect with who they can relate to. Oftentimes when leaders get to a position, they allow the position to dictate how they show up. Let's say somebody is promoted from within the ranks to now leading the ranks. One of the things that we horrendously get wrong, because she's a good cashier, she must be a good leader of cashiers. Why? Because he's a great engineer, he must be a great manager for engineers. Why? You haven't taught him or her how to lead. Especially if there's no example of leadership in the organization, real and true and authentic leadership. But to answer this person's question, when somebody tells you you're unapproachable, the first thing you should be asking them is, why do you say that? What about my behavior, my mindset, my diction, my approach makes you feel like, boy, Ahmad, I could just hold firm, I could just text it or let Tingam them tell them because Tingam them ain't scary. When they tell you, don't try to justify what they're saying. No. Hear what it is the person is saying. When they give you this feedback, because it's usually either your actual approach, maybe you're a bit too rigid, or you never really engage people. You only do things when you have to. So it's morning because you mannerly. But it's not really, man, Dwight, I heard you say last week is going to your nephew, 21st birthday. How that gone? Man, y'all been anywhere, y'all doing anything? You remember that? For real, Tread. Like, man, that was so good. He had a good time. We went out to dinner. We went to the movies, whatever it was. We take him to the so-and-so. It was cool. He had a good time. And now my niece coming up. It's simple as that, right? Oh, I ain't going to pay to be personal with these people. Okay, watch them quit your job then. Is that anything personal? Is that any?
I'm not here to be friends.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying you must be best friends skipping on the road, Dwight. But check in with the people that need to be checked in with, which is any human being on your team. Was that question invasive to you just now? The one about your nephew's birthday?
No.
Check in and see how the birthday celebrations went. Did that make you feel like, oh my God, he's violating my space? Come on. And somebody might, Somebody might say, boss, ain't all of that. If they told you that, believe them. That don't mean you stop doing with every single person in the organization. Some people will tell you what to do. I don't need blah, blah. Just tell me what to do. Tell me how to do it and I go on. That's fine. If they said that to you, believe them, trust them, keep it moving. But the lady, the gentleman that values that connection, that values that remembrance. I was in a session this week, Dwight, and it was about 18 people in the room. And after they all introduced themselves, I committed their names to memory. So I'm referencing the names as time goes, and the woman's like, sir, how do you know everybody's name already? The name your parents gave you is the name you've always had. It matters to you, so it matters to me. It is as simple as that. Why would I not take the time to learn the name one if I've learned it, mess it up? My name is 4 letters, A-M-A-D, the dumbest Dwight that I've heard. And to me, it's the quickest way to disrespect a human being.
Oh, boy.
Your name is Dwight, not Dwayne. Why would I mess that up? Why would I not take the time to learn at least your name? I'm with them for 90 minutes in that particular day. But by the time they left, I knew everyone. Not even by the time they left. By the time we got 10 minutes in, they'd done the introductions. Susan, Mary, Paul, John. That is the way I connect. And they will never forget me.
Yeah.
You are going around your organization looking at numbers and paychecks and how many people it's costing you, how much money is with them, engage them. When they tell you the answer to your question about why you're unapproachable, do something about that. That same person that gave you that feedback is not afraid of you, not afraid to connect with you. Use them as your sounding board. When you see me in the break room tomorrow morning, judge me. Score 1 to 10. How was I report now? If I being too extra, tell me. If I doing too little bit, tell me. Let that person be your cooler.
Wow. All right. Let's take this call before we move on to a specific age group that at least the perception is that they might be difficult to work with. I don't know if it's reality, although I have stories. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight. You guess how you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, right on, yeah. Okay, the most common reasons why people leave jobs, right? 1, they need more challenges. 2, for higher salary. 3, people feel uninspired or not valued on the job. And 4, different work environments. And the second thing I want to hint at, the problem with your guest right now is having, right, why people leave jobs. Listen to the term he used, a job. You know what a job is? A job is a short-term position to earnings. People give people jobs, not careers. A career is a long-term professional. That's the reason why right there, because we on jobs. If you want a job, right, you're watching the clock. If you have a career, you don't watch the clock. You see where I'm coming from with this?
Yes, sir.
Right. The problem
to
is the
some
jobs.
extent.
We're giving everyone jobs. That's short-term earnings.
So
Yeah, well, I hear you, caller, but I mean, in your career, you will have different jobs, right? Especially
I think
if this job place this isn't working for you,
Right. I think the perspective he's bringing it from, though, is that we treat it like it's a job, the organizations that is. You just come to do this job and go home. Some people have that mindset as well. As employees, I only come to do this job and go home. The persons that leave are the ones that want career. To his point, the ones that want growth. People don't. I just got inspired to write a post the other day, Dwight, and it said here. I did it this way. Sorry, I want to get it right. Great talent doesn't leave organizations. Great talent leaves leadership that refuses to evolve. Most well-engaged, most high-performing employees, most people who are invested in their growth are leaving because you're not. That's it.
Wow.
And I know countless people, Dwight, who have made life decisions to set them back in salary to get beyond this current stance in their life. They want to be in an organization that sees them, sees their value, and will invest in that value.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
And
okay.
when they feel like this, I'm only doing a job, I am done. And people will make life decisions and leave you where you are because they want to grow. They want to see growth. They want to the guy over there, the lady over here, this department come out of nowhere because they're to be there to expand. They want to see and feel growth. And when that's not taking place, they're gone.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So, are we noticing any differences when it comes to retention with millennials and Gen Z, the younger people in your workforce, your workplace?
Okay. So there's a couple of myths I want to debunk today, right? I was also guilty, I wouldn't say, of generalizing generations. No two people are going to be the same. And while it's called generations for a reason, because generally, and of course for a period of time, these people will be, in the forefront. But when you look at millennials and Gen Zs as labeled as disloyal or frantic or, they got no stickability and all this other stuff. Okay, like my dad, for example, like I always use, was on the same job, if you will, to the gentleman's example, in a career for 32 years. Wow. Right? I mean, the best. Anybody would want an employer like Edmund Bruce Thompson Jr. That by showing up, and he's showing up at everything he have. He is not giving you... My daddy would be ill. He would be... The doctor says, sir, please, lay down. If he feel like, no, boy, I get outside, I touch the earth and let God heal me, tomorrow morning he backed, crease up, ready to work in full force. He has never once disrespected his job, disrespected the opportunity to work, disrespected the blessing job, the career of the work was. At the same time, is it fair? Is it the right environment that we now live in? Is the culture we live in now, is it okay for me to measure you by his standard? It is not. It is not. So a couple of the myths. They're entitled and they expect promotions too fast. The truth is that they seek growth opportunities all the time. Now, as the leader, you can create framework. You can create guardrails that demonstrate how we grow in this organization. Certain criteria must be met, certain things must take place. You should be here for certain periods of time. So some organizations might say there's a 6-month probation or 6-month period by which you have to get familiar. Right? You can be really, really sharp and come in as the mic polisher here at Garden Radio. But man, when you listen to them talk, boy, this guy is sharp. I need to put him as a so. But rather than doing that 2 weeks in, let him learn how these mics here work. Let him see. You observe him, he observes you. After that 6-month mark, you may say, okay, you can apply for any role that's available here. If they see the path to growth, they may hang around a bit more, right? It can't be that you, to the gentleman's point, you get a job and then stay right there for the rest. No, sir. How do I get from point A to point B? Is there a point B? Is there a point Z? Is there a point Q? Can I go from engineering to food and beverage? Can I go from culinary to PBX? Is there a way for me to evolve in this organization? If there is not, deuces. Bottom line. Myth. They drop out because they're disloyal. I just demystified that, right? They leave because they don't see an investment in their long-term success. Again, to the gentleman's point, is this a job or can I grow here? And growth doesn't necessarily mean 32 years. Tenure is an indication of the past, Dwight, not an indication not a promise for the future. Just because I've been here for 10 years, when I can be for 10 more. It only tells you what I've done for 10 years, where I've been for 10 years, but that don't mean I'm here for 10 more. And we confuse because she's been here for 22 years or 13 years or 15. No, sir. What happens when next week, next month, last week, somebody been poaching her? Somebody been calling her, man, listen, Susan, I see you doing so and so. And people don't necessarily have to know you to know what you're doing, People just talk. Our nation, and first of all, we talk our own business, but that's another discussion. The third myth is that they don't work hard. Listen, they reject, will not stand, will not tolerate meaningless, mundane, monotonous work. That will not keep their attention. They want to be challenged. They want to be stretched. They want to grow into what they can learn. If I can max out my potential in the first week and a half, why come back to this place? And if this task is so mundane, so monotonous, so repetitive, this will not challenge me. So you bring your people in your organization who value structure, repetition. They value kind of like the run-of-the-mill. The people who like to dream and innovate and try something, you put them in your off-the-wall positions. Let them see no day is going to be the same here, right? Invite them to be challenged. Invite them to solve a problem that you've been trying to fix for the last 22 years with the same people who've been around for 32. They just want to come to work and make sure all is well. They could pay their mortgage, they could read their paper, they could drink their coffee, all is well, ain't nobody hurting. But those people, the millennials, the Gen Zs who crave, who absolutely they need it. They cannot do the same thing over and over again. You will lose them because one, they're capable, but I'm capable of more than this. So challenge them, put them in positions, create a think tank, create a focus group where every day all you do is talk about what problems can be solved today. These people are walking around with the solutions in their hand and in their brain daily. But you want them to come to work and say, good morning, welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order? No, they ain't coming. They gone. Now, Ms. Pearl, Mr. Johnson, they may be into that. But Pookie and Jerome, no, sir. Give me something to do.
I mean, I think there were older people people in other generations who were like that as well. But they are not there.
And are also still like that,
Yes, still like that. But
I want to be challenged. I want to be
definitely
stretched.
are not in the same position.
Correct.
For 40 years.
Definitely.
No. Okay.
Definitely.
But we think that the majority of the people in these younger generations are thinking like this.
They want, now, every generation has just people who lazy and ain't internet and all of that stuff. Don't call in, don't text it talking about, my staff. First of all, you hired them. Second of all, you keep them. So is that their fault or your fault? Start with you. Start with you. If I am not working out for your organization, why do you continue to pay me? That's like telling me to come rob you every Friday at 4 o'clock. The back door open, all the money in the drawer, come get it. Come on, man. If I am not doing what you said I should do, and what you said I should do is not what you feel I should do today, it's an established standard. There's a standard operating procedure. There is a manual. There is a way to do it, not Dwight's way to do it. Not the way you feel about a mod today. This is the standard by which we operate at so-and-so company. Failure to meet said standard is not a surprise to the employee. Right? It should be, Ahmad, you're not meeting the standard. Here's what we want to see you improve on. Here's what we want to see you continue. So Ahmad knows full well, boy, I think this is looking a little rough, or I could actually improve here. Additionally, if you improve, here's what you can look forward to in the future. If you do not, here's what you can look forward to in the future. Both of them have a future attached to it. What does the future look like for you?
Right. Wow. Okay. The phone lines are all lit up. We've got a lot of text messages coming too, and we got more points to get to. Let's take this call though. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. We're talking with Ahmad Rashad Thompson and talking about employee retention. Good. What say you?
One more thing I want to mention, right? I think that we have created some really bad work habits coming into the future with these kids. The reason why I'm saying that is, right, we give these tablets and cell phones to these kids from their 1 year of age to play with and to entertain themselves with, right? As they grow up, the only thing they know is a tablet. So when they go on jobs now, what you think they can do? Be on the tablet straight through, but then you can go and tell them, oh no, you can't be on the tablet because you're on the job. So now we've created a hypocrisy in this now and a bad work ethics, because now we train the kids now that you can't be on your phones or tablets while on the job. And that's going to become problematic. Because I found in a couple of business establishments I went on to being served that the people were actually constantly on their phones prior to serving me. And I can't blame the individual, because what happened is that's what they were taught from they were younger. So now there's a problem breaking them out of that situation. I don't know if you respond.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. You want to touch that?
Yeah, briefly. I think that, okay, so the gentleman's point is valid. I think he's settling on one. We are not doing the best job we can to teach critical thinking anymore. We Google it, and Google have it. But think your way through some circumstances, which is why I just said, create a think tank. Leave the devices, leave the Google, leave the TikTok, leave the ChatGPT, come into the room and think about what can we do, right? At the same time, these individuals are so tech savvy to why they can solve your problem in a click. Don't disregard that, integrate that. These people want work-life integration. Flexibility is not a perk, Dwight. It's an expectation. I don't need to come to your job to the building every single day to be productive. That's just not the way of the world anymore. That don't mean you let me run free. Again, what is the standard that should be set and measured? If I can do that same standard in Japan, on my Grammy porch, or in your office, why not let me?
Yeah.
You see? But it got to be measured. It can't be, I hope they're doing their work at home. No, sir. Measure it. How do you know that I'm doing my work at home? What measurements do you have in place? What analytics do you provide? What data is there to reflect whether I'm performing or not? The same data you would use if I was in the office, you could use when I'm at home in the office. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Wow. Okay. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's take the other one there. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Mr. Strachan and Ahmad Rashad, I like listening to this gentleman. So the last caller was totally correct. In Sweden, they have invested billions of dollars to reinvent the textbooks, the actual paperback books, into the classroom, because they have seen those type of behaviors and a lot of other social deviances. I had a cursory look at it, and so this is what they're saying. They're seeing I'm sure this is what all of this entails social engineering. And so soon we would want the microchip in our brains and anyhow in the transhumanistic BS. But I wanted I would make a comment on a little history, and then I like to hear what Ahmad says.
Yes, sir.
But for me, throughout all of my life, all of my jobs, my bosses love me and they like me. And there would always be a new boss comes in with this type of different behavior. But for what kept me on the job was I like science because I worked in engineering. So some of my boss, they would always respect me and respect my mind, and I would solve problems, and we would solve problems collectively. But what happened was when you read a lot and you see things that other people don't see, other employees become kind of like antagonistic towards you, and it was always a problem for me. And so what I realized was, in the hotel industry, I have to call them out. I wouldn't say which ones, but in engineering, you work around boilers, chillers, reversers, smokes. There's a lot of danger. Ahmad. You know, I had a clamp blew off, fly past my head one night working by myself of a machine that puts it out almost 1,000 pounds per square inch. One night I went into the laundry up a ladder and hit my head unknowingly into a piece of pipe. But what I'm saying is, why I was vexed with the company was because they had broken the law by saying shift engineers work one man work on a 4 to 12 and a 12-day shift. They were getting away with that for years. I went to the labor, but nobody did nothing. This is what bureaucracy does and capitalism does. You hear what I'm saying? You work in a plant room around danger, but they had you working saying, you're all getting too cozy with one another. This one is go home and then come back before the boss come in the morning and say he just reached back or he just gone for lunch. So they rather put you in danger. This is what all of this turned me off from the hotel industry. And when Atlantis hired me in their boiler room, Ms. Myers hired me, and I said to her, they asked what assets you bring to the company. And I boldly told them that the first thing I can do is save them diesel fuel oil, because I knew boiler systems, and I knew one procedure. I can walk anywhere in any boiler room and save them fuel just because what I know. So the blind guy who was on the other day, it goes beyond just being visible. It's the knowledge. So, you know, I tell them they lose when they fired me. I didn't lose. I worked for my mother from then, and I'm really turning off from working because I'm satisfied with being self-employed, even though I'm still paranoid. You see, so it's actually the owners of the company and the bureaucrats that actually said that one man worked per ship in danger. I almost lost my life twice. You know this, I said the clump flew past my head.
That's very scary.
All right?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. My goodness. Okay. Wow. So got some interesting text messages here. Somebody's asking. They're asking two questions. Do companies bring you in to unknowingly spy for them and then victimize the staff afterwards?
Bring me?
Yeah.
Oh, here's what I do not do. I do not do foolishness. I'm not a pawn. I'm not some scapegoat. I'm not some tactic that you can try to figure out what people are saying. If I have a conversation, the first thing I do with any client that wants to hire Ahmad Thompson as lieutenant management, we have what we call a discovery call. And if I can feel, and I can sense it from a mile away, there's a trick, there's a scheme, you're trying to check off a box, I am not the consultant for you. There's many others in the country, call them. I'm not the one. Wow. If you want to create change in your organization, if you want to take facts, data, and apply it, I am the one for you because we want to create a long-term strategy for your organization, not some check the box thing. That ain't me. Forget it.
Okay.
I need the money.
They're also asking if you find non-unionized companies treat their staff worse than the ones with unions.
I don't wish to answer this question.
What?
But I will. I don't believe that. This is such an unpopular opinion.
Just say it.
Listen. Heavenly Father. Okay. We in this country, I believe unions have a space. They have a place in our country to help to keep things in line, especially for persons like the gentleman you just called who may be abused or overlooked or, mistreated in their organizations. What we have done, though, is given the unions in our country an ability to do what they want when they want. I don't think that's the right approach. The union is supposed to be my ally, as the employer as well, Employee and employer, they are my ally. They are my guide. They are saying to me, employer, be mindful of A. Not the causing no confusion or no ruckus and encouraging my employees to go do fool. That is not what it's about. But anyway, I digress. The organizations without a union, I don't think, what was the question? If they are treated worse?
Do you feel, yes, non-unionized companies treat their staff worse?
I don't think they treat their staff worse. I think there may be an opportunity to do it because there's no outside voice to regulate or to question or to challenge. But employees who feel mistreated at work, that's a different discussion. And if you feel mistreated or you feel disrespected, abused, that's a concern that you must take to labor, which is still officially, you're not really a union, but they're your advocate. And if it is that there is no one in that organization that can help you to realize or to bring that issue to kind of the forefront and work to resolve it, that may not be the best place for you to work.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back. We got a few minutes left. Back to the age thing, Millennials and Gen Z. And like we were saying, I do think there are older employees who were hoping for this type of engagement and might be fine settling for the monotony and have decided, I'm going to keep this job, but I'll do something on the side.
Yeah.
Whereas younger folks will be like, I'm out of here.
I go on, all the best.
Right? How do you, across the age groups, engage your employees so they do want to contribute and they do feel like there is a path to move the issues dealt with?
A couple of things, Dwight. The first is that if you look at the way the workplace responds to the times it is in. When my dad started to work, the message everywhere was, get a good job and keep it. Don't lose your job. You got to take care of your wife and them children, pay that mortgage, and don't ruffle the feathers. So he went to work and kept the job. Did really well at the job, continued to improve at the job, but people in his age set and people in his generation honored the job by showing up to it.
Yeah.
Shirt and pants, haircut, and you to work early. You don't leave late. If you don't reach late, you don't leave early, right? Now the world is saying, use your voice, right? This life matters, that thing matters, this cause matters. And so now people are more, I hate this term, but they're more woke, more aware, if you will. And so awareness brings action, whether it's on your part or the other person who's now aware. So for persons on any part of the spectrum right now in the workplace, everybody wants to know where they can go next. Everyone. Even the employee who tells you, my boss, I good. If they tell you they're good, believe them for right then, but check in every now and again. Hey, are you good with this role? Are you good with this level of work? Are you good, meaning looking for other employment anywhere? Are you good with the culture? Are you good with what? What specifically are you fine with? What can we do to keep you fine? Again, don't disregard the happy-go-lucky or the everything cool boy. Don't disregard him. Because there is still something he would want you to do differently and not better for him or her in the organization, right? So everyone wants to see a trajectory. Where can I go from here? Right. Everyone. The next thing is, I've said on the show before that work-life balance is a trick. It is a myth. Do not believe it. But you do need to create work-life integration. How am I able to be Ahmad, the uncle, the son, the nephew, the daddy? Not the daddy, sorry, not yet. Anyway. But how can I be that and still be the employee and still be actively engaged in the workplace and still give you my honest day's work, right? And as I said earlier, flexibility is no longer a perk, it is an expectation. If it is such a rigid environment, please count them out. They're not into that. Even your baby boomers and your Gen Xers in your organization right now are looking at you like, I have to come to the office? Like I have to? Or like it's just like every other Thursday? Like what's going on, right? Diversity and inclusion is taking a whole new path right now because of what's going on around the world and in the United States of America. This president is not interested in your diversity or in you being included. He is doing his best to exclude you. But organizations should not be determining what they do inside them or within them by one man. That is ridiculous to do. So your people need to see more people like them and people different from them. You don't need all yes men around you. Somebody needs to be able to challenge the status quo and say, man, listen, have we considered, do we think about, for instance, organizations like hotels or large global organizations who have overnight shift or who have like family island workers? How often do you remember only after the fact that, man, we ain't call Abaco, we ain't do make one, or we ain't do the overnight shift? Right. That is not inclusion. You have an entire workforce, 300 people, but you only counted in 280? Come on, man. They feel left out. And then the last thing is leadership. I said it a million times, that listens. For Lord's sake. If you 63 or 23, you want to be heard. You want to be seen. You want to be valued. Anyone taken for granted is going to leave. Anyone. Some people may wait a bit longer to get them ducks in a row and to make sure all is well. Others you will be like, hold on, I see them in, because they don't work here no more. They leave the barge. Let's check on the side on the porch somewhere, the barge outside. Right. They ain't coming back because you've not done any what I just said.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So we're getting a lot of text messages. Clearly, this has to be a show. You might not like it. But people, the union thing. plenty questions about this.
For sure.
So we got to do a show on this.
Mhm.
But this text here, before we were unionized, my place of work was a plantation.
Wow.
After we got unionized, we actually have a voice, and there's structure and rules to be enforced as to how we should be treated, and it's much better now.
That is a plus, and that is the benefit and what unions are supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Unions are supposed to give organizations a clear path to just treatment. They're supposed to give employees a voice that they wouldn't necessarily have on their own. They are an advocate for the employee and an advocate for the employer. More so the employee, though.
Yeah.
If I have hired a union, the union's job is supposed to protect me, the employee. But the union's job is not supposed to cause confusion for the employer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what it's supposed to be. They are not, this is not, one shouldn't create the other. As I advocate, I shouldn't be causing confusion. What I should be doing is causing some disruption every now and again, not destruction. Big difference. So persons in the unions and persons representing these employees, please operate yourself in a humane way. Just advocate where you need to, but for Lord's sake, do not look to cause confusion.
Right. Wow.
Come on.
So this texter says that texter asked about the union thing.
Yeah.
That was an unfair question. Like Ahmad said, there's a place for unions. Employers, public or private, who are invested in their employees will never have a problem with the union.
Absolutely.
Because there won't be one. Happy employees don't need legal advocates.
Happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house.
Interesting stuff. All right. So final word, Ahmad, to folks out there who are like, wait, I'm losing everybody.
Yeah.
They keep going. They go to the competitor. They leave the field entirely. What do you do? What should you really be doing?
Please focus on what employers are saying and what they are not saying. Don't focus on if they're happy or not. What I look like don't necessarily mean what I'm going through. You have no idea what your colleagues, what your employees, what your team members are walking away from or walking into. But if you can control and affect, if this is what the Holy Spirit said to me this week, Dwight, I was in session, and he said to me to tell the people in the room, stop focusing on what you can control and focus on what you can affect. You, employer, cannot control how the employee feels. You can affect how the employee feels. Okay? Trying to control me, go back to that plantation mindset, the person referenced just now. But you can affect my well-being, affect my mindset, affect my performance by listening to what I've said and asking what I've not said. Stop focusing on if I'm happy and ask me, are they growing? Are my employees growing here? When is the last time I saw somebody come and advocate for a promotion? When did I see my HR person in my face talking about, listen, we need another department for so-and-so or 10 more positions and so-and-so, because people just growing and expanding. Your bench should be so deep in your organization, you don't have no time to post no job outside. Wow. Everybody inside just ready to go to the next level. If that is not the case, start with you. Why are they so underdeveloped? It can't be just them. If your organization is so bustling and so future ready and so all these positions are being created, why is there no one inside that can fill that gap? Come on. Second thing I want to say is, instead of focusing on those engagement scores, focus on performance outcomes. What is causing people to do their best? When you have people in your organization who are high performers, track that to the T. This high performer does what? She thinks how. He does. How does he come? How does he move? What does he think? What does he say? How does he engage his customers? Study them to the ground. And then let them know they are the benchmark. Let others know too. Listen, performance looks like this. This is the standard. This matches our employee handbook. This matches our procedures book. This matches everything. But high performers get this when they do well. No performers get that. If you want this, do this. If you want that, do that. Simple as that. Last thing, measure retention quality, not just retention rates. Who is staying behind?
Wow.
Who is staying behind?
Boy.
Just because they stay don't mean they should be. Come on now. Some of them need to go.
That's going to hurt some feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we could do a part 2 on this one.
Yes, sir, we
And
can.
Definitely we're going to do a union one, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
On that show, I'd like to bring in a union rep because I don't know the union like that.
That's a good idea.
And I recommend like a Dwayne Woods or like Darren Woods or like Miss Burrows, I forget her first name, Cheryl, maybe Burrows. Some good union people in our country could have some good conversation. We could challenge them, they could challenge me, and we could have a good discourse.
That would be great.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to that one. Ahmad Rashad Thompson, thank you so much for
It is
being
always
here
a pleasure,
this
brother.
morning. And that's going to do it for us today, folks. Be sure to pick up the Nassau Guardian and the Guardian business section for more of what's in the business news today, especially on the LNG deal, and a whole lot more in the paper today. This portion of the show brought to you in part by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. I'll be back on Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Pinda has a new line, the Sky series of porcelain. It comes in 4 colors, Sky Noir, Sky Gris, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Zero. As the name suggests, you would think it has a strong blue component, but the blue is kind of like just a hint in the overall coloring of the porcelain. The blue feature runs more or less the center of the tile, and that's surrounded by light shades of gray. The Sky Azure, like the others in the series, needs to be seen to be appreciated. Stop by Pinda Tile and have a look at Sky Azure, one of the 4 in the Sky series.
Spring is here, and it's all about fun in the sun. And what better way to jumpstart your weekend than with a trip to the Sports Center for an exciting 15 to 20% off store-wide sale. Everything you need, beach umbrellas and chairs, beach toys, pool toys, and boogie boards starting from $19.99. All your favorite swimwear, including Salt Life and Quicksilver, starting from $26.95. Snorkeling gear, hats, sunblock, waterproof beach speakers, and more. Visit the Sports Center today, Harbor Bay, Mullet Marathon, and Sandyport, and get 15 to 20% off store-wide. Sale ends April 2nd.
Hola, República Dominicana. Send 3 money transfers using GK Money Services Western Union, and you'll be automatically entered to win a trip for 2 to Punta Cana. Price includes airfare, transportation, and 3 nights at an all-inclusive resort. Follow us on social at GKMSBAH for more info. Hola, República Dominicana. Send today with Grace Canadian Money Services and Western Union. Promotion ends March 31, 2025.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options, and let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from around the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.